And if most of the amendment sails through, the small and medium-sized businesses are likely to feel the brunt. And as our reporter Linda Koske now tells us, the committee questioned the effects of the proposal, saying that KBA is more concerned about lending to the government and not small businesses.
Despite firm assurance by the government that Kenya's economy has continued to show considerable resilience, industry players in the banking sector seem to disagree.
We are at a stage where the economy has stagnated and actually it's shrinking.
Kenya Bankers Association KBA, while appearing before the National Assembly Finance and Planning Committee to make their submission on the Tax Laws Amendment Bill 2024, faulted the government for proposing various tax increments in various sectors of the economy.
If you look at the numbers from the central bank on manufacturing, construction, transport, those numbers are going down.
Under the Tax Laws Amendment Bill, the government is seeking to raise the minimum core capital requirement for banks from 1 billion shillings to 10 billion shillings, a matter that KBS says will have a devastating effect not only to banks but to small businesses who depend on loans from banks to run their businesses.
We are going to be able to support the micro and small businesses to the tune of 150 billion. Now, when we put this law in place, that changes the dynamics around.
Some players are shaken. They feel like they might go off the market.
In October this year, KBA pledged to inject approximately 150 billion shillings annually to boost SME activity across the country. This might not happen, according to the bankers, since their focus will shift to attaining the 10 billion threshold set if the parliament passes the amendment as is.
Banks will reduce the lending to be able to focus on building up their capital buffers so that they can be able to meet this threshold.
That did not convince the committee, who say that the move is meant to build stronger banks and increase their muscle to finance big projects.
You made a commitment to increase loans for small and medium enterprises. How much have you increased?
The conversation opened the stage for a heated conversation.
You guys, you have forgotten your core business. Completely, you have forgotten your core business. What you are doing is collect money, collect our deposits. You don't give us money, loans. You go and buy treasury bonds.
How else can we make banks to work for Kenyans and not the other way around?
The original intention of registering banks is to support the government by supporting the economy.
Finance and National Planning Committee National Assembly Chair Kimani Kuria insisted that the proposal should propel banks to tap into alternative resource mobilization strategies.
Because banking is such a profitable business, raising money, whether it's through venture capital or doing an LPO, we haven't had an LPO in Kenya for a very long time. So there are very many avenues that are there in raising capital.
Meanwhile, the bill offered 100% tax exemption on interest income for bonds and securities used to raise funds for green building projects. With this, KBS said, should stay as is, which made the committee question their stand.
Green bonds. This is where we are targeting, and this is where the tax should come from. But they want to protect it.
Tourism sector as a catalyst for economic growth also took center stage at the public participation, with different presenters calling for incentives for the sector.
While our neighbors are actually giving more and more incentives.
The hearings are part of the wider public consultation, and Kenyans will continue to voice their opinions again tomorrow as they seek to understand the Tax Amendment Laws 2024. Linda Koske, K24 TV.
Now, nearly 24 Kenyans have been arrested in a major international crackdown on online credit card fraud as part of Interpol's Operation Serengeti. The operation, which spanned from September to October 2024, targeted cyber criminals behind online scams, ransomware and digital extortion across 19 African countries. The fraud, which caused losses worth over 1.1 billion Kenya shillings, involved the misuse of SWIFT codes for money transfers to companies in the United Arab Emirates, Nigeria and China. In total, the operation led to the arrest of 1,006 suspects and the dismantling of over 134,000 malicious networks. 35,000 victims were identified worldwide, with a staggering total loss of $193 million, which translates to 25 billion Kenya shillings. Interpol and Afripol have praised the success of the operation, highlighting the importance of international cooperation in combating cybercrime. To matters regarding the regulation of religious organizations and that particular bill, the Religious Organization Bill 2024, which sparked backlash from religious leaders groups nationwide, has officially been withdrawn. The move comes in response to intense backlash from religious leaders who had criticized the bill and rejected political donations, sparking speculation that the government is seeking to mend fences with the church. And as Harriet Shumia now reports, an alliance of 36 religious organizations have announced the formation of a task force to establish self-regulation guidelines.
Barely a month of constant backlash and criticism from religious leaders over government policies, the state of the nation and even church donations, the state has seemingly sought to mend the fences with the withdrawal of the contentious Religious Bill 2024. The bill was the brainchild of Tana River Senator Danson Mungatana.
This morning, written a letter to the Speaker of the Senate, the Honorable Amason Jeffa Kingi, to seek a formal withdrawal of the Religious Organizations Bill, Senate Bills number 44 of 2024. This follows wide consultations with various religious organizations, starting from here at the national level in Nairobi, to the regional level in the coast, to my county level in Tana River County.
After the legislator's announcement, a coalition of 26 religious organizations declared the formation of a new task force. The clergy says the task force mandate includes self-regulation among religious institutions to prevent incidents such as the Shakahola massacre and to root out rogue officials.
Na tunashukuru pia rais mwenyewe alitamka na kinywa chake akasema kanisa lenyewe lipange vile litajisimamia. Tumetengeza task force ya kanisa. Tutaanza kupanga vile tunaweza fanya self-regulation. Tunakubaliana kunaweza kuwa na excesses chache, lakini wahubiri walio waaminifu ndio wengi. Kuna excesses chache, tutaunda bill ambao tutawasilisha kwa bunge iliyo nzuri.
The now withdrawn bill had proposed several controversial measures, including requiring religious organizations to pay taxes on income and gifts. Under the bill, churches were to file returns and present audited accounts. It also outlined stiff penalties for non-compliance, with fines of up to 5 million shillings or imprisonment for up to 3 years. Additionally, the bill called for the creation of a uniform theological training curriculum for clergy. The bill also sought to criminalize any attempt to recruit or convert a child from one religion to another without the consent of their parent or guardian. Eligibility for registration of churches was also to be supported by 25 people professing the same faith. The bill also mandated the creation of separate bank accounts for offerings and tithes, with those for income generated from other economic activities like selling merchandise, failure to which a 1 million shillings fine or a 2-year sentence would be incurred. On the matter of ongoing court cases linked to the Mungatana bill, the religious leaders say they are now pursuing alternative dispute resolutions.
And part of religious organization went to the civil courts, others went to the constitutional court to say that they don't agree and procedural issues and so on. So that is still pending in court. What the bishops have said is that they have taken that matter from the normal courts. They have taken them to ADR. ADR is Alternative Dispute Resolution. So this has nothing to do with the criminal court cases that are proceeding against Mackenzie and the others.
So we have to differentiate. Are you in a comedian church or are you in a priest church? So when you enter into comedian, they can do anything. But when you went to the pastor will lead you to the God's word. So I think this is going to be dealt with, and we are telling Honorable Mukatana that we need also to separate the cult and the church. Yes. There's a lot of difference between the cult and the church. Yes. We are the church.
The Tana River Senator was the chair of the ad hoc committee that was last year mandated to investigate the proliferation of religious organizations and the circumstances leading to the deaths of 110 people in Shakahola, Kilifi County. The question now remains, will the withdrawal of this bill ease the tension between the church and the government? Harriet Chimea, K24 TV, Nairobi County.
Well, thank you very much, Harriet Chimea, for that particular story. We just take our second breather. We'll be back in a moment.
Baada ya kutumia damu ya Yesu na mwili wa Yesu Kristo, shine, 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 you shine and you shine, and just in the name of Jesus.
Angukia welcome bonus.